How's everyone doing? Energy feels pretty good today. I'm feeling good about this. All right, well, as Rob mentioned, I'm Ciara. I am the brand lead for Alibaba.com North America, and I host our podcast. Honestly, it's my favorite part of the gig, getting to talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs, inventors, about how they've brought their business to life, how they've created a product. And so I'm really excited to do that on stage with you all today and share the stories of a couple amazing entrepreneurs from our network. So please welcome to the stage Daniella, Daniel, Rohan, Andrew, and Marshall. All right, give them just a minute. All right, here they come. Give them a round. Hi, everybody. Come on. Have a seat. Welcome. Andrew, how you doing? Hey, Marshall. Welcome, welcome. All right. Oh, hey, Andrew. Hey, Rohan. Nice to see you. All right, so as Rob mentioned, we're talking a little bit about resilience today. As everyone knows, it's been a little bit of a challenging year. So, there's lots to get through, and, this isn't a pie. There's more information, there's more resources. It's great to share these stories with everybody so that everyone can grow and evolve from their experiences. So any information that you all are willing to share with the audience here today, we're really grateful for you to share those experiences. But, I only introduced you by your first name, so I want to take a quick moment and introduce your brands, your products, where you've come from. So I'll start with you, Rohan, if you can give us a little intro.
My name is Rohan Mehta. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. We have 6 brands in private label space. Most famous are known in Bragnify and Nutrify. More or less automotive and supplement space. Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you for joining us. Marshall?
How you doing? My name is Marshall Day, the CEO and inventor of the Rayco. We have a business called the Better Tool Company, and we're always looking for new innovative products to bring to the market. From Fresno, California, and we're excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, Marshall.
My name is Andrew LaPlante. I'm the founder and CEO of Landsy. We manufacture landscaping products for the average homeowner.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the COO of Why Don't We? We create games for couples. We have 8 games now, and we started 4 years ago on our dinner table, and here we are.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daniela Leoni. I am the CMO of Why Don't We? Originally from Venezuela, but grew up in Miami. And yeah, we create games for couples.
All right, thank you all for being here today. We're really excited to dive in. I think the first big question that's, the number one topic that everyone's talking about these days is tariffs. So I want to just start the conversation a little bit by talking about how those tariff conversations, how dealing with customs has impacted your business, and how you've been able to scale and grow and evolve in the face of all of that. So Daniella and Daniel, I'd like to start with you, if we may, and just kind of talk about how you've experienced that and were able to continue to expand. You mentioned how many games you've been creating with this brand. How have you been able to stay resilient in this process?
Well, I think the most important part is we remain calm during the whole tariff negotiations. We're already used to paying tariffs in other countries where we do sell, so we know tariffs are part of the game. We knew negotiations weren't going to last that long because it was not sustainable for either the US or other countries. So what we did was mostly remain calm, evaluate every day our decisions, the things that we wanted to focus on. We knew that our brand was going to be here to stay, so we just focused on the decisions that we could make day by day to make our business long-lasting and just try to stay in the game.
Nice. And how have you, managed those negotiations with your suppliers? I know that, that's a big question is, how do you manage those relationships?
Also it was a great opportunity to to also get out of, for example, we're always supplying in China, so it was a good opportunity also to check out other countries. But also, we said, as Daniela mentioned, our brand is here to stay, okay? So we needed to adapt. That's what we did. In fact, we had several products on the roadmap. And we said, let's launch it and let's try to, with those products, to cover up whatever we're gonna lose with the tariffs. And that's what we did. We were able to renegotiate, for example, the terms with our suppliers, okay? and place strategic orders, okay, to lower our cost. So at the end, everything ended up really well for us.
That's great. So for the most part, you were able to stay with the same suppliers you've been working with and continue to deepen that relationship.
Yes, back, I think it was 2 years ago, we were fortunate enough to also go visit them in China. So we did establish really good relationships with them. And when this whole craziness started happening, they were really like supportive in negotiating to our needs and to be able to keep us as long-term clients. So we were really grateful for their understanding basically and coming to terms in a way that would be good business for them as well as for us. So that's been like top-notch customer service for us through Alibaba.com.
That's great. Is that a shared experience for the rest of the panel? Whoever wants to chime in, in that relationship building portion of continuing to grow, have you been able to deepen relationships with existing suppliers, existing partners to find those efficiencies? Does that resonate with any of you?
Yeah, definitely. For us, if our suppliers were really worried, they knew the tariffs were coming. They knew we had other options to go to other countries. I think certain buyers did go to other countries, so informing our manufacturers that we were going to stay with them and that we trusted them and that we were going to work together to get through the tariffs, I think it eased a lot of tension from them, and then they could just focus on the manufacturing aspect of it.
Totally.
Yeah, I know in our case, we had 7 containers on the water when the negotiations weren't hit, and it was like literally trying to rush to get the last of the container in before the massive tariff hit. We had heard of some people that ended up didn't making the cutoff. We've been fortunate. We were able to land all 7 containers prior to the tariffs fully kicking in, so otherwise it would have been a nightmare that I can't even begin to express. But learning the process, learning that it doesn't matter, okay, so we have a tariff at the moment, but it's temporary. So you can go and try to pack your factory up and move it over to the Philippines or move it over to Vietnam. But it's all up. You never know if the next day you get it packed up that this tariff hits here or this tariff hits here. So it's tough to jump and kind of go around. I think for us, it was work with the people that we had established, be open to learning to meet new people, which I think is key for any business, and just continuing to move forward. And for us, we ended up, during the tariffs, we worked on a product called Smooth Slide Wax and developed an entire new product while the tariffs were going on and the calls weren't coming in.
That's massive. And so, you were fortunate that you were able to get your products in and have been able to expand and explore other options, despite, all of this news that's coming out.
Absolutely, yeah. While I mean, again, we got the 7th container in, but then it just hit a standstill. We did the National Hardware Show. We were talking to Lowe's. We were talking to Home Depot. Once those tariffs kicked in, there was no calls back. So we went into kind of just a new design. Let's play with more products. Let's play with some R&R. Let's look at some new ideas, and we were able to continue to move forward.
Wow. And Rohan, I know you operate in a little bit of a different space with supplements. There's an added layer of complexity with compliance there. How did this impact you?
So for us, it was very complicated.
Yeah.
We created a hotline, so I got all my 20 folks on the call for like 24 hours straight. Initially, we were planning to launch 120 units per flavors. So we came up with a strategy if we can look into, launching around 60 units.
How have you been able to navigate these conversations remotely during this time? Or do you find it beneficial to have that personal interface by going overseas? Can you talk a little bit about, that difference for you all?
I mean, I think what Ron said it's true. I mean, when you get to meet one-on-one and person in person, it's totally different. But we were able to do it remotely, okay? And at the end, it's what we've been talking about. You need to adapt. And those who are able to adapt are the ones who are going to be successful, okay? And look, COVID 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, you cannot quit every time. If this microphone stops working, I'm not going to walk out, okay? So you need to be able to adapt, and that's what we did. We started talking with suppliers remotely, and they were able to understand too. They needed to adapt too.
Sure.
And that's how it worked, okay? Again, as I mentioned, they were very flexible with giving us, for example, more payment terms or different payment terms. And at the end, you see, like, remaining calm was very important, and it worked out at the end.
That's great.
I know for ourselves, we utilize Alibaba quite a bit for just sourcing, for looking at different things, for creating new products. One of the advantages is if you can't necessarily just jump up and fly to China and go work with the people, Alibaba allows you direct one-on-one access. Yeah. I mean, the advantage to flying to China is you get to have those one-on-one relationships. You get to establish the relationships with the factories and the people. But working on Alibaba.com is absolutely second to none.
That's great to hear.
So for me, we actually went to China right before COVID, and probably prematurely. I didn't have to go to China. I found our supplier on Alibaba.com, and we worked with them. And I think that trip was unnecessary because we were so small at that point. But since we've scaled, I have gone more recently. And for me, it's just about being hands-on. I like being able to be involved in the manufacturing process, being on the line, getting more involved with QC, but that's just a personal choice. So when we do talk to our end user, I can say, hey, this is what you're experiencing. I know that this is set up this way because I was there. I was on the line. I was the one who, welded that or whatever. So that's a point of pride for me. But no, I don't think it's necessary at all, though.
How do you ensure that you're delivering the standards that you need, with your manufacturers, with your suppliers, and with your customers? How does that process work for you?
So we have a very rigorous process. We have a pharmacist. I have a doctor on my team as well. So they ensure, they follow all the industry practices. And matter of fact, those practices are much better in China as compared to in America. Great. So we find out that was surprising for us. And we want to make sure we meet all the criteria, how these things are produced, what are the SOPs, how they are operated, TNC. So we are able to figure out a lot of stuff that is much better overseas producing. And also for the quality control, we do every batch testing. So whatever the product comes to America, it's being tested randomly, and we have a vendor, we work with, once every couple months, whenever the new batch comes in, it's being tested and it's being displayed on the website. I want to be transparent with our customers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And all of this is part of that resilience conversation. Knowing that you have to uphold that standard throughout all of these turbulent times. And part of that is those conversations with your customers and with your consumers. Daniel and Daniella, I want to come back to you. And how does your communication and relationship with your customers help inform how you are managing your QC process, how you are managing your communications to continue to scale? Because ultimately, they're the ones that are going to keep you afloat. Your customers. How does that conversation go?
Well, we knew that every time stuff like this happens, the economy kind of takes a step back. People, take care of their money even more. So when it came to the tariffs and what the decisions that we wanted to make, we knew that we wanted to stay loyal to our customers and understanding of the process that they were going through too. And we decided to keep our prices the same, to absorb the cost of the tariffs and just focus on sales, basically, because everybody's going in the same boat. We're all suffering the impact to the economy. So we just try to be mindful of that and just stay loyal to our customers by keeping the same service, same prices, and same experience for them.
Yeah. Well, and for a brand like yours, the customer is so at the center. I mean, the customer is at the center of it for everyone's business. But with your card games and everything, it's so focused on interpersonal relationships and making sure that you're fostering that communal experience between among your customers. So that's really informed the way that you're processing things from a business perspective as well. It sounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's about maintaining relationships in the long run. We try to provide our customers with an experience rather than a product. We sell products, but our products come accompanied with a whole bunch of resources for you to also work on your relationship. And then I think just by getting creative in the things that we do behind doors, past our products, that's where our our customer loyalty lies as well.
Yeah.
I think if you enter in panic mode, your customers are going to notice it. So we decided to do the opposite, to be honest. Okay, let's maintain our quality. okay, let's even keep it up a notch. Okay, keep it up. So we improve our products. We put more things inside our products. We'll launch a podcast that talks about our products. We'll launch a magazine. So we were telling our clients, okay, nothing is happening. Don't worry. Okay, don't panic. Our products are still going to be the same, and you can still get the same experience.
And you've been able to keep that price consistent, alongside all of those emotional benefits. There's that financial benefit as well.
Yes, well, we are also, from our personal point of view, we're fortunate enough, we're in a category where the tariffs are not as high and our product cost is very low. So it's also beneficial position to be standing in, because I know it's not the case for other people where tariffs are really hitting their pockets.
Yeah.
So that's also worth mentioning. Not every category has the same impact. So and we were able to absorb that cost and just get creative with other things rather than just lay it out on our customers.
Totally. Marshall, how have you been able to contend with the cost of production, and how have you managed the price for your customers throughout this?
We were able to, fortunately, like I said, we weren't affected by the tariffs, so we were able to keep our prices the same. But in the process, what we learned was, let's create more product, like with the games. If the more things that we have, let's create things in different price points. Not everyone wants to spend $60 on a garden tool, but they don't have a problem spending $29, and they may not have a problem spending $45. So let's create these different products for these different markets and these different price points, so that you kind of hit a market for everyone. And learning what that is has kind of been where we're at, and just learning where are the price points that people want more so than what we want.
All right. Well, I think we're coming up on time here, but I want to thank you all for sharing your stories, sharing your challenges, and how you've been able to push through in challenging times and create new products along the way. So I encourage everyone to learn a little bit more about their businesses, check them out on LinkedIn, on their websites, and learn more about how these brands have grown in the past few years. So it's really impressive, the growth that you all have seen and experienced.
Thank you, Sarah.
I want to thank you all.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Let's co-create the future together.
Let's co-create the future together. That's it. All right. Well, okay. Thank you so much, everybody. And I also want to encourage everyone to check out the B2B Breakthrough podcast. We'll have more conversations like this with small business owners, industry leaders, every couple of weeks on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. We always like getting to know all of these business owners better and exploring their journeys as a whole, not just through the tariff challenges, but there's plenty more to these stories. So we're uncovering them every day. So thank you all. Thank you so much.